This week's episode of the Deck Chair Gnomes podcast brought to you by the Words of Champions. So, as you know, Connor, one of the greatest things that get us through all these hard times is to look at our sporting figures and take solace that they've got everything fucking sorted. You know, you have Muhammad Ali. You didn't know Viet Cong ever called me bleep. What an inspiring man. Yeah. Fucking David Beckham. I didn't know. the one true champion, Rocky Balboa. If I could change, you could change. Everybody could change. And then thankfully in 2022, we've also got, I don't know what's going on in Ukraine, but it's not good. What a fucking time to be alive. Play the intro. Yeah, what's up, motherfuckers? You're very welcome back to another episode of the Deck Chair Gnomes podcast. I don't know if I've talked over the intro because we've got a new studio and I can't hear a fucking thing, but I don't care.
But, well, in case you did, isn't it worth it rather than having headphones?
Oh, man, I hate it wearing headphones.
Freedom now, so you might have us a wee bit.
It's lovely to leave here with your hair looking exactly the same.
The timing mightn't be great, but the hair's
fantastic.
fantastic.
I look fucking great.
Yeah, so that was the inspirational quote from
you hadn't seen it, right?
I haven't seen it.
No, I hadn't seen the fight. I'm not bad at keeping an eye on it. I didn't even know he was fighting. So Anthony Joshua was fighting. This is terrible. A Ukrainian bloke. No, a Ukrainian boxer. He didn't just head over.
Yeah, just go and pick a guy off the street.
Like, I'll sort this fucking thing out. You, come here, ding ding. Right. And he got beat. Now, I think it went full 12 rounds.
Right,
again, I should have watched the whole fucking thing. This is typical Deck Chair Yums. I've seen something. I don't know how much about it, but it's worth chatting about. So from what I can gather from TikTok, Joshua got beat like in a decision. Then, so it was like some sort of unification fight.
Right, okay.
Right. Which I believe is something to do with the Protestants.
Yes.
And Joshua then threw the other guy's belts out of the ring in a tantrum.
Right, okay.
So he was like, Josh, what the fuck are you doing, man? Having a bit of a tantrum here. He then grabbed the mic from the actual new champion. He's like, I've got something to say, bruv. Some poor Ukrainian guy with the top nuts like, my family are dead. This is for my try to build school back. And Josh was like, you shut the fuck up, bruv. And he went through this whole big speech about how he's 18 stone, so that's why he can't win over 12 rounds. I think he compared himself to Mike Tyson. Like there was a whole fucking thing like that. And then yeah, he went, I don't know what's going on in Ukraine right now. No one does, but it's not good. And then tried to tell everybody that the champion was a great boxer. Because not winning isn't enough.
Yeah.
He also had to go through how many struggles this guy. And then this is how fucking... I think boxing's kind of going... I think UFC did what boxing did years ago, right?
Yeah.
This is my own wee fucking weird theory. So when McGregor came into the UFC and started fucking walking, you'll do nothing, break out the red panties. People were watching it because of the hype surrounding the fights, which is what boxing did under... What do you call that guy with a weird hair? Don King. So I've... Because UFC... to me, seemed to be a lot of people who are into martial arts and really enjoyed the fact that it was actually, you know, there's a lot of technical things you don't really see if you don't know what you're talking about. McGregor comes along, all of a sudden it's like,
all the fucking wingnuts, the country.
So then that happened. Tyson Fury then gets on fucking on TikTok, right? Which it's still insane to me that TikTok is where people are calling each other out. Tyson Fury's like, I'd beat them both in one night. Like fucking.
Right.
And then I think he said, I'll fight Joshua for nothing, but it has to be for nothing. Has to be given out for free. Right. I don't know what's going on there. It all got insane. Then Eddie Hearn,
yeah.
Right? Then starts attacking Tyson Fury and going, Anthony Joshua was talking about his mental health in that ring. You've been a champion of mental health and now you're slagging him off for crying. Fuck. And you're like, what a bunch of... I'll fight them all.
It sounds like fucking Anthony Joshua's... It's like throwing belts and all out of the ring and all that. That's like fucking Royal Rumble. That's like it's WWE, isn't it? Like it's becoming farcical.
Well, that's I think... Fucking... But I'm guessing... I wonder, is that what they're having to do to sell?
They must do you know what I mean? Because like to keep your career in that, because it's apart from going into America big market, if you want to be over here with Eddie Hearn and all the rest, you need to make some sort of fucking attraction to it, like
because that was the kind of like that was the thing Ali did. That was
you
know, like I think I've
whereas Tyson did it pure just with
Tyson. Man, I was watching
just skill and fight.
I think I've told you this loads of times. I wasn't old enough to really see Tyson fighting, right?
Oh, right, okay, yeah,
and. The only experience
I wasn't really. I was early. Well, what was?
Because he fought up to like 2003.
Fought up to 2000 something. Yeah, but I remember the Bruno fight was a massive thing in our house. The whole, like everything was stopping.
See, I remember Frank Bruno from like HP Sauce.
Oh, right.
Remember the ads and stuff.
No, I remember from the.
But that's whenever Tyson was in jail, wasn't it? when Bruno was?
I'm not too sure about the timeline.
Because I think I watched something. This is obviously years later, but Bruno only really had the belt because Tyson wasn't fighting.
Yeah, because that's what it was. Yeah, he was away, and yeah.
Not that I would fucking talk shit to Frank Bruno, because there's a documentary about him that's fascinating as well. But what I was saying is, the only experience I had of Mike Tyson was from an Xbox game called Knockout Kings, right?
Right.
And Mike Tyson, that game is like a slow, slugging puncher, right? Yeah. And then I watched a fucking video of him, and I went, I didn't see I can't move. There's a man lying on the ground, and Mike Tyson hasn't even broke a sweat, and I didn't see him moving.
I still think he's. I do believe he's one, if not the best.
Well, there's
fucking.
Because I went through this sort of thing where I was watching. Sorry, I'm just moisturising as usual. Was watching just a load of Mike Tyson clips, and there was a clip of him when he was on Arsenio Hall,
right?
And they brought Muhammad Ali out, like surprise Ali's here, and somebody was like, well, I'm guessing Arsenio Hall was like, people were saying who's better, Tyson or Ali. And Tyson's going, nobody can beat Ali. And Ali's going, fuck no. Like, I was like, now fair enough, he wasn't in the best of shape. But he was like, and in fairness, he might not even be pointing at Tyson. I don't He was either pointing at Tyson or conducting an orchestra. But Ali's like, he would have fucking killed me.
Yeah, it's not until you watch back the Holyfield fights.
Aye.
And you watch them in full, and you see, because at the time I remember just the headlines, because it was usually we didn't like when it got to the Holyfield stage, it was pay-per-view.
Aye.
And so you never heard of it until the next day, and then you find out he bit his ear, and you're like, what the fuck? And then you watch the fight, and he is getting headbutted from the second.
Tyson is
getting headbutted. Headbutted.
Oh fuck! I didn't even know that.
That's why he bit the ear. He just gave up. He just gave up. Like fuck, he couldn't take anymore because he just constantly. And when you watch it, you can see every single delve in. Holyfield is headbutting him.
Aye.
Every time, and to the point it nearly knocked him out one time.
Fucking hell.
Aye, it was dirty. Like,
and also, a lot of people don't say it's very impressive to bite an ear with a gum shield in.
I still can't.
Do you know what I mean? You couldn't open a packet of crisps with him. Like, you couldn't open peanuts. But he opened a man's head. I have a lot of, because like the thing about Tyson with the rape allegation, was that ever overturned?
I don't think so.
Is there money? What? Because the only thing I've ever looked into, but not even looked into it, is Patrice O'Neill has a bit,
right,
about he doesn't think Tyson raped that girl. This sounds fucking terrible. Too early to talk about this, but the Patrice O'Neill bit is, so the allegation was that he forced oral sex, and Patrice O'Neill's like, oh, he made you suck his dick, and she's like, no, he went down on me, and then Patrice O'Neill's like, oh, he didn't do that. He's like, what rapist makes a woman feel wonderful? Like, stop, shut up, bitch! While I pull back the hood and reveal the clitoris for maximum stimulation. That's fucking terrible. That's somebody else's bit, so don't at me with it. But he seems to be one of those guys where, like, he's had a full. You almost feel sorry for him because his entire life in the spotlight. With people ripping him off. I did feel sorry for him, I have to say. Like, even though he was obviously convicted rapist and all the rest, but. It was when you watch, if you've watched the documentary, obviously his because there's 2 or 3. I've watched the
there's Tyson.
There's Tyson.
Tyson. One, then there's
is that the one where he's like, and then Gus told me if anyone ever hurt my feelings, I could kill them. Like you're like in the house, like, fuck.
But it's fucking that right hand was just.
And he was
so.
Do you know who won? Another boxer I feel sorry for is Tommy Morrison.
That's right.
Because he was a
fucking beast,
an absolute beast. But there's a video of him getting knocked out.
But was there something what was
he died of AIDS?
But what was the whole? Did he not? He did Rocky 5, but something happened after that, didn't it?
AIDS.
No, I thought there was something to do with the boxing world happening after that, where maybe it was knocked out after the film, but something about the whole thing went. I was going to say went downhill afterwards. Obviously,
he did go boogaloo. Like I think he That's why he ended up with AIDS. Like he fell victim to that whole fucking like. Drugs and like because I think that and he pretended for years he didn't have AIDS.
Okay.
And because he came back, if you ever see a photo of him before he died, he looks like a completely different person because he was obviously the big fucking mad, you know, that kind of real handsome movie star boxer jaw,
all big black head.
And then like I think there's a photo of him. He ended up getting pec implants and kept trying to fight. So at the end of this fight, he's got his arms raised and you can just see the. Like where the skin's gone and the sort of, But yeah, he went completely off the rails. And then that was the thing. He tried to pretend he didn't have AIDS. Obviously couldn't fight once he was diagnosed with it. Then tried to somehow get a boxing license in a different state by claiming that he never had AIDS in the first place. Right. And then he didn't take any of the meds and all this sort of stuff. And it was just a shame. But he was another one of those ones where you were like, there's a video of him fighting a 21-year-old and he's 14.
Yeah.
And he knocked the fuck out of the guy. Like,
oh, just an animal, just
yeah. And and I think he was one of those, like, he played football, basketball, like he was just an all-star athlete.
Yeah.
But he kind of similar to Tyson that way of like, how can you only be a teenager?
Yeah.
You haven't a pube yet, and you're already making fellas see birds flying around their heads.
Was it the Olympics? Olympics that Tyson had the world record for the quickest knockout or something? 11 seconds or something.
Oh, really? I didn't know
like
that.
before, when he was amateur, like I don't know if it was Olympics or the qualifying for the Olympics, but he held the record.
There is that thing when you
literally just walks down a ring, bang.
Aye. It's when you see him and you're like, oh, guy's 25. Yeah. Oh no, he's 14. What?
So yes, the champions. Well, isn't it lucky for us that we don't really take?
Well, you're a boxing champion, surely. You should have some sort of.
Well, this is the thing.
Spiritual words.
Well, as champions, we all have the same sort of mindset.
Uh-huh.
It's that sort of winning mentality that never leaves you. Like it's always, as you can see, it.
Yeah.
But
You've got Raging Bull and you're flaming hot because the monster punch, the monster punch.
My biggest problem was
only into the boxing because of the skips.
The same thing was because of I was fighting 40-year-olds when I was 16 in sparring. You know, because weight-wise, nobody my age was my weight, so the only people my weight were overweight 40-year-olds.
But see, I've never been punched in the head full contact.
Oh yes,
that wasn't outside a pub.
Right.
I remember, like when I did Taekwondo, arigato. It was all semi-contact, and I was 15.
Right. No.
So getting tapped in the head, I remember going, it's actually hard to breathe. It's just distracting. But getting
the sparring
dog in the head in a boxing fight.
Well, the sparring you weren't gonna like, even though sometimes tempers would go. Like, the 40-year-olds couldn't be fucking seen battering the 16-year-old.
Aye, but they also couldn't be seen to be battered by one.
But I busted one of their noses one, and I was like, yes,
the red mist.
But it was because I literally. I could read his punches. So he kept trying to do an uppercut, and he kept trying to do the same one each time. And every time he put his hand down, he left his chin wide open.
Aye.
So as soon as he put it down, the next time I just hit him. It was like, I know it sounds so simple, but he was 40, so he was slow, and I was in my prime, championship mode, like, and I just come off winning the Mid-Ulster Novice Championship medal. So it was right high. Like,
that was a full tournament day, wasn't you? Like 4 or 5 fights. 6, 7 fights was it?
4 till the final. 5 in total. Yeah, so it was good. But I still have the medal. I still have it at the house now.
I've still, the more we're talking, I'm still wanting to be like, no one has contacted the other comedians as far as I know about this boxing thing. Nobody's listened to it. Now, I put a video up me VR
I don't even know if I'm allowed to enter it because of being a champion.
You're already champion.
Yeah.
You probably wouldn't get the license now, man. Do you know what I mean? You kill boys, like. Do you know what I mean? I put up a video of me doing VR boxing the other day, and I'll tell you this, Connor, what I thought I looked like versus what I actually looked like. I've changed my mind. I don't think we should do that boxing thing anymore.
As you say, it's easy to do the punch by no rest, but it's when you get a punch in the head.
Aye.
And the punch in the head, then, like, it obviously knocks you, as in, like, not does knock you out, but it knocks off what you thought you were going to do.
Man, yeah.
So then all rules are off. You're like, I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do now.
That's what I always found about doing Taekwondo, was like, you would be getting, and it'd be literally tapping your head guard. Because we were, like, literally, you would be pulling punches. So I remember when we were, like, training, the fucking instructor would be like, like the gi you'd wear.
Yeah.
Right? He'd be like, you need to hear that snapping. And the only way to hear the fucking sleeve snap is to pull the punch. So you had to be like, right? So,
sorry, no.
Yeah. So you'd be, I would. But I always remember that being like, fucking, you're bouncing about and thinking, all right, I want to do this. And then you would just get a wee tap on the head and your lungs go, what are we doing? Yeah. Your whole body goes, mate, no, I just saw red stuff there. And now I'm like, fuck is he? Where's this 8-year-old boy with a green belt? Had to fucking roll his jammy bottoms up because he's too wet and he's kicking my fucking.
I remember watching, and it's mad when you're in a boxing club and you all like the 40-year-olds and the 14-year-olds, everybody's fighting together or watching each other fight. Right. And I remember one night, I still see him to this day, an older guy who was, I don't know, he was in his 30s at that stage, but lost the head with one of the younger fellas who, not a child, like he was 19 or 20 or whatever, and he gave him like a proper beating. The older guy did, you know, and I remember the whole atmosphere, the whole place just changing because that wasn't the done thing. He was fucking, it was like bullying them. Even though they were same weight category and all the rest, it was just experience versus the thing, you know. But when I did it to the other guy, it didn't matter. You know, it was a weird thing that didn't matter. But yeah, so I just, I don't know if I should register them as like weapons of like
lethal weapons, like
Well, I don't know if it's mass destruction or just destruction.
I
don't know what the difference between mass and normal destruction is.
Yeah. I'm the same with my feet, man.
I just know destruction.
Yeah.
You know.
I heard that one of the fucking maddest things I saw whenever, and I like two things. I remember the day I went fuck taekwondo, right? Was one of the guys in the, would you call it a class? The place I went, I mean, it was in a fucking church hall. It wasn't really, do you know what I mean? It wasn't like I was going to a martial arts school, you know what I mean? But it was the only place we were all just there all the time. And I was like, oh, well, we all must be pretty good at fighting. And one guy in it who was a bit younger than me, but I think he was like a red belt.
Right.
And could do all the fucking jumpy, spinny, roundy, cool shit, right? And like breaking boards and all. I was like, oh, that man's a fucking killer. And he was in first year. I was about second, third year in school. He was in first year. And he got bait up and down the school. And I was like, I'm never going back to that shit. What's the fucking point?
Everyone take him on?
Yeah, he just got rattled. Like, and I remember getting into a fight outside a pub in Derry. And in my head going, I know what I'll do. I've got a class side kick.
What was his name?
I remember being like, I'm just going to fucking drive my boot through this guy's stomach. And he punched me and it just fell off a curb. I was like, that's enough. I'm done, boys. I'm not a fighter. I'm not a fighter at all. I'm a lover.
I haven't actually been in a fight since, must be 20 plus years, 20 years.
I was about to say, well, 18, 19, was outside a pub in Derry. I remember telling my dad, whenever my mum and dad came up to see me, I was still first year. So have I told us about the fight?
Yeah,
the war. I've told you about like me and my dad being in the pub. So I'm in the pub with a fat lip drinking a pint like that, and my dad's going, tell it again. And like, I thought I was going to, like, my mate had a concussion. We had to phone the cops and stuff. My dad's like, fucking your man's going to kill you, got blood in your cup.
But you told the full story on here before. Actually, like, it was a fucking.
That mum and dad came to Derry. This was just after Christmas or something. And I was like, that's the pub there. That's where the war happened. And that's where that guy hit me. And we drove down the street another 20 feet, and I went, and that's where I landed. But what was I going to say there?
I came from boxing away from. Actually, we're still talking about Anthony Joshua's inspirations.
Aye, that's what I was going to say. So last night, I'll tell you the story. My nephew stayed over for the first time last night.
Oh, nice.
He made it at 9:30, went home. So nephew's about 3.5.
Right. Okay.
And my sister was like, "Listen, he had a nap today, so it's gonna be hard to get him to go to sleep." I was like, "Be grand, fucking me and him will hang out." My girlfriend was there, like, "Well, fucking chill out, we'll watch Paw Patrol. I'll just let him tire himself out." Then, you know,
Chase is on the case.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm like, "Be grand, dead on, fucking." So that's cool. Got him in. She was like, "He needs a shit, by the way, so you need to keep an eye on him because he sometimes will go by himself, but sometimes he'll just fucking full blown shit his bags." And be like, "Your problem now." I'm like, "I'm on board, gotcha." So fucking got him in the potty, did his shit, cleaned his butt.
Nice one.
Got his jammies on. I'm like, fucking, I'm ready for kids, no problem, man. I can do this in my sleep. It's a piece of piss. So then try to put him to sleep. And here we go, right? So I'm like, "Do you want to go to bed?" He's like, "I go to bed, okay, go to bed." And he like walks to my room. He's like, hold my hand, like, "You going to bed? You stay beside me?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll fucking." You know, the whole plan is like, I'll wait until he nods off.
Yeah.
And then we'll be grand, right? So we get in the bed, and so he starts like fucking, he's running about and stuff, and I'm being, okay, right, I'll let him run about a wee bit, tire himself out. And he's out my bedroom window. He's like, "Get back in your car, my stock, get back in your car." And I'm like, "Who's out there?" There's no one there. He's just in his head. I'm like, "Mate, that's a family thing." And like, I think you're a born stand-up. He's running new bits. Right. "Fuck you, Cocomelon." Like, good man, right? So, and then I come on, get in the bed. So I put him in the bed, get his blankies and stuff, get him all fucking ready to go to sleep. And then he's like, he's sitting both up, and he's like, "Where's my mummy?" And I'm like, "Mate, don't do this to me now." Right? He's starting to be a bit sad, and he's jumping out of the bed, and I'm like, "Come on, get back in the bed." And he's like, "Ah!" He's like cracking up, jumping back in the bed. So I go, "Right, I'll put on fucking white noise. It helps me sleep. I'll put that on. I'm just going to fucking pretend I'm asleep." Right?
He's 3.5 years, right?
Right, yeah.
Not 3.5 months.
Man, I know,
okay,
right?
Okay.
But I'm like, I'm thinking, I'm just anything, just think anything, right? So I'm like, I'll just fucking put that on. I'll pretend to be asleep. Let him potter about. He'll eventually be like, "Fuck it, I'm going to get in the bed," right? So I'm fucking lying there, like, trying to be dead. And for a while, he's going, and I can see him looking at me, right? Right? So I'm like, trying not to laugh, right? And I went, fuck, I'm just going to pretend to be asleep, So I pretend to be asleep, and I hear him pottering about, and I hear a drawer open, and I'm like, the fuck's he doing? And then he goes, oh, tokens. And then he's like, going, bye-bye, token, bye-bye. And he's throwing condoms across the room. And I was like, I call them tokens too. Fuck tokens. Fuck them, right? Right? And man,
tokens.
Like ninja star in them. And part of me's going, mate, which one end did you crumple? Because I don't want to end up with one of you, right? Because it's fucking 9:15. I'm busted. I should be watching Game of Thrones so I can watch the new series of Game of Thrones. But now I'm in here wondering which one of my Joe bags have you ruined, right? So then at one point,
I still can't get over Joe bags. I swear to God, it's fucking.
But then at one point, he let out a big fucking and he wasn't real crying. Mm-hmm. He's going, right?
No tears.
And I'm like, man, I know the cry. I know you're not really being sad.
You still do it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But then his wee voice, right? Because he mispronounces his R's, stuff like that. He went, "Where my mummy? I can't find the mummy everywhere." Right? And I was like, "Oh fuck!" So phone says, "You come and get him." He's breaking my heart, right? And my girlfriend came in. She went, "You can get him to go home." And I was like, "Will be alright to go to sleep?" And she goes, "No." She goes, "I can hear him in the living room, right?" So my next door neighbor sometimes if there's noise coming from the bedroom, which there usually is, they'll wrap the wall, and I get all fucking freaked out. But it really winds me up. And my girlfriend goes, "You'll go through that wall and kill him." And I went, "I won't pet. I'm not that kind of person." She goes, "No, you're different with him. I've seen you." Right? And I realized I can't have children because, like, if anybody missed me as much as my nephew missed my sister, I'd just start punching everybody until I got the right one. So I've decided I'm not gonna have kids.
No.
Can't do it, man. Plus, the size of the shit that came out of that child.
Oh, aye.
Yeah. My sister went, anything smaller than a foot's a small one. He's only 2 foot tall. Like, he can shit half himself.
Don't start with shit stories.
And then I'm like, wiping his arse going, like, there's nothing on that. I don't know if that's because you've got a healthy shite or if I'm doing it wrong. So then I'm struggling to bend a 3-year-old over my knee to look up his arse.
Touch toes.
I didn't even think about that.
Get them touch
I just
toes.
went full for fucking stuff. Look, tokens.
Took a shower head out. Just fucking.
Did you ever see somebody make a bow and arrow? See, I've realised that I think I'd be an absolute fucking psychopath if I had children.
Oh, yeah. I think everybody becomes a psychopath when you have children. It's just the nature of the beast.
Couldn't do it.
No, again, nobody thinks they can do it, but of course you would.
Don't get me wrong. No, I could do it. Like, I just don't want to.
That's a different story. And I think most parents will say they probably don't want to either, but apparently there's a benefit to it. I don't know what the benefit is, but there's apparently a benefit somewhere.
I think it's something to do whenever you get old, they get to wipe your ass and you're all revenge, bitch.
Maybe, but the last thing I want is my daughter looking at my fucking shitty hoop. No matter what age she is.
I've said many times before, whenever I get sick enough that a doctor has to look at it.
Nah.
I'll be like, just fucking.
There's nurses for them things. That's what we pay
throw a toaster in the bath, I'll jump in a second.
Yeah. Give me a male nurse that I don't know.
Everything right back out, lad?
Don't want a female one just in case something happens, you know what I mean?
No, give me a mechanic. That's what I want. I think, because obviously when
he opens your fucking ass cheeks with a jack.
Just kicks my legs. I have not 2 years or that. I think, like, I want somebody to look at my arsehole and tell me how many miles I have left in it. I have a thing. I want old school doctors to come back.
Yeah.
I've told you the time I got a hard on, the doctor just slapped my dick.
That's some issue.
Have I told you that story?
No.
Have I ever told you that story?
Were you in for a hearing test?
I was in first communion. The time I fucking kicked in the balls, my ball bag twisted. Right? I've definitely told the story. But I had to pee in the fucking thing, spill piss everywhere, right? It was a female doctor, but she was an old school female doctor, and she was quite hot, right? Big milkers and stuff. And she was like, fucking press my good, and the balls were aching. Like, she's like, oh, what's going on here? And then I looked on her top and started getting the wee fucking 11-year-old root. And as my dick went up, she just slapped it and it went back to normal. And I was like, I actually respect what you've done there. Even as a boy.
Get back, you bastard.
Yeah. I mean, it's weird now that every time it's the only way I can come.
Slap it!
Do you know what I mean? My dick's like, do you know those inflatable punch bags you got in your way? And I just punch the top of it and it goes back at it again. It says underarm up the side of it. It's But I've had several experiences in my life because obviously I've always been sick.
Yeah.
And I always find the old school doctors that are dead honest with you are the best ones. They're the ones that fix you.
Yeah, they'll actually know. Yeah,
you know
they'll tell you to fucking move on.
Just that's infected.
Yeah.
You're a dentist.
So no kids for now. is what you're.
I don't know. I do genuinely think I'm maybe too old for it. Because
you're definitely not too old for it. It's just whether or not.
I don't know. And I think I have I think I've hit a point in my life now where if a 2-year-old or a 3-year-old told me a story, I go, I can beat that. Do you know what I mean? I'm too competitive.
The problem is, Mickey, see, you're thinking of seeing that 2 or 3-year-old, but you forget you've done the 2 years. So by the time they start telling you a story at 2 or 3, you're not listening anymore.
Sorry?
Do you know what I mean? You keep going, put a 3-year-old in here, and you're like, no, do the 3 years first to get there. You realise you're not listening. You've zoned them out completely.
No, I think I'm too competitive. I think I've spent too much time around comedians. And, I think if my nephew at some point is like, today at school, I made Preto, I'd be like, here, do you know one time I bought cocaine off a pensioner? Took it and realised it wasn't cocaine. Huh? You think you shit yourselves in bars? Me too, bro. Bring it in.
I wouldn't like to see you competitive for Ruby to see who you can batter more. She hit something.
I wouldn't take Ruby on. Don't be wrong.
Oh, she'll knock fuck it either.
But I do think that's an issue.
She's now calling me Yums, by the way.
She's calling you Yums now?
Yeah.
Fucking yes.
Fut up Yums. I got that yesterday. Fut up Yums. And then somebody will go past the house going, this is my Yums.
Class.
I was like, yeah, fucking jeez.
I like that your daughter's now calling you chubby.
Yeah. It's fantastic. It was a great idea we had at the very start to do the name of this thing.
Aye.
The 6 episodes we were going to do.
I've been recently thinking about getting a personalised number plate for the Bartmobile.
Somebody has...
Because deck chair, you could spell it out, definitely, couldn't you?
Oh, easy.
The reason I'm thinking about doing it is because Paddy McDonald, friend of the show, tried to convince me I could sell my number plate the other day. Were you there for that?
I think he was talking about mine, wasn't it?
No, he was talking about mine. He said you could sell it to the Raffo family that own the Chippy. And I was like, I don't think you can, Paddy. You get $1,000 for it. You wouldn't. You definitely wouldn't, Paddy.
The Raffo family. No, I don't know, maybe. Oh, there was a...
Which is, to be honest, it's way better than my old number plate. Because you can't sell that to the ills of the family.
There's 4,567
exactly,
of them.
Yeah. How'd you know mine was 4,567?
So I know a listener, I don't know who it is, ran past our house the other night out for a run, and Ruby was shouting at him as he went past. And I only caught the tail end of him hearing what I said. Was, you must be the legend, Ruby, whatever. So I was all right. So I was like, oh, fuck, you must listen to the podcast. So Lenny was on his way back, and my ma was standing out the front with Ruby as well. And I was just about coming out the front door, and he was like, hello, Ruby, again, and said to my ma, oh, and you must be Emer. And Ruby went, yeah. And your man ran on, and I was like, he now thinks I'm married to my fucking mother. I was like, he's going.
Well, it's over.
I know it's Tyrone, but fuck.
Decent you to marry her instead of just riding the way the rest of them do. At least you put a ring on her finger. Good man.
But it was just Ruby.
This is my wife, man.
Out of pure bad. Yeah, that's her.
Incestuous best, Connor. Fucking nothing wrong with it. Keep it the family.
Why not?
Like the Lannisters. Just pure bloods.
Oh,
The Bannisters, more like.
Fucking broken ones.
Oh, yeah, I forgot what I was talking about there. This is another one of these, I've had too much coffee today.
Yes.
I had a full cafetiere, or French press, for the lemon, full of the stuff, before I went to the gym.
Look at that, guns are out.
Yeah, and then came back and had scrambled eggs and another cafetiere. And then I started feeling a wee bit sleepy. So I had a Red Bull on the way up. And I just pinned the coffee there now. So
good stuff, yeah. Excellent.
I'm in tatters. Tell you this much, Connor.
What's that?
I was chatting the other day about something now. Because obviously, we're spending an awful lot of time talking here about the old, what would you say, herbal remedies.
Yes.
The
supplements.
I bought CBD oil recently. Now, I was asking you about it, right?
Yes.
But do you know anybody get me decent CBD oil? Because I want all that old shite stuff.
Yes.
So I got some stuff out of Holland and Barrett.
And
there's no instructions as to how much to take.
Oh, right, okay.
Well, I didn't think there was. So I took a full pipette.
Okay.
And then I went, I don't think that's enough, and took another full pipette.
Okay.
And you're only supposed to take 25 milligrams a day, and I took 140 in a sitting. Do you know when people say CBD doesn't do anything? I got a terrible dose of the munchies without being stoned.
Yes.
Very, very strange. Couldn't stop eating. I remember I was sitting outside Tesco's, and I went, oh my God, there's a Burger King right behind me. And I got excited. But turning a steering wheel was a nightmare.
Because it doesn't have the THC, the THC is what gives you that cloudy feeling in the head. So it has everything else but the THC.
Yeah.
So it has all the munchy side effects. It has the relaxed body thing. It has the calm thing. But your head's clear as can be.
Aye.
Yeah. It's only the THC part that's actually illegal. But you really shouldn't be... well, you're not going to overdose on CBD. You're just going to end up eating a lot of shit like as you did. But...
it's good. Orange flavoured too.
Oh, fuck. Was it expensive?
I spent a fortune. I spent that much money on Holland Bar the other day. I've got a loyalty card now. Because I was like, I was getting a joke. I'm buying that much fucking aloe vera gel.
Well, the real stuff is the Rick Simpson oil. That's the real RSO.
Rick Simpson oil?
Rick Simpson oil is called, yeah. Named after...
thank God. I thought Rick Simpson was like a thing. Richard Simpson.
Yes, Richard Simpson. It's RSO for short, but it's the RSO can be £300 for a fucking...
shit the bread, really?
Yeah, it's the pure...
I think this was like 50 quid maybe for the bottle of it.
Yeah, but I mean, your content levels, as in CBD content level, will be in the 0 point something, whereas the RSO is the pure actual stuff. Right. But they would do an awful lot. RSO would be giving an awful lot to cancer patients.
See, I'm looking for anti-inflammatories. That's what I'm after.
That's RSO is your stuff.
Yeah.
Very expensive, very hard to get.
Right. But you would know a guy, wouldn't you?
I knew a guy. I could find out, yeah.
Imagine me fucking illegally buying CBD. Hey, baby, what you got? I got to get that anti-inflammatory, baby. I'm so tired of not being hungry, baby. Hey, well, man, you got anything that don't do nothing to me? Well, hey, baby. You got anything that make me feel completely normal the way I normally feel?
They have...
I got an inflamed gut, baby.
They give some...
Clink, 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 clink.
That's what they do, prescribe it to some people for like bulimia or anorexia, like eating disorders, to get their...
where's that? Do you need a passport to go to? That's where Butch Cassidy was trying to go to, isn't it?
Aye, it's down.
We're going to bulimia, boys. I can't swim. Oh, fuck.
It's down beside North Septicemia.
Septicemia?
Septicemia.
Is that a hard one?
Don't know. Just
that's emphysema.
That's emphysema.
No, that's a place near Tennessee. Emphysema, Tennessee, isn't that? That's not a Garth Brooks song, isn't it?
Is it eczema? No, it's eczema.
No, that's the Warrior Princess.
So as you can see, this is a very caffeine-fueled fucking episode because
it's because I'm already dipping.
Well, we never really have a structure anyway.
Don't tell them that. Really, they don't know that. We do. We plan this out.
I think
we meet up 2 days before the podcast and go, what do you want to talk about? Then we talk about it, and then we forget to talk about it on this. Because we've already talked about it. Because we're men.
Or we talk about it afterwards and go, oh, fuck, that would have been a good episode. Yeah. But yeah, so gigs wise, you were in the Mighty Dailies on Friday night. Jesus.
I think you can agree. I was class.
Sir. Unreal.
Do you know what was so... because I was in Korean.
I knew you were enjoying it because you were saying beforehand, fuck, I don't know if I'm going to be doing 50. And then when I got to an hour, I was like, he's fucking loving this. So yeah, I think you did like an hour and 7, hour and 8.
Aye. Wasn't like my... it was a very strange one because I got to Dailies and went, I haven't written any of this out. Because I've done 2 shows on the tour already. Yeah. Shout out to everybody who came to Armagh and Castledurg. Mm-hmm. You were with me in Castledurg. Yeah. And I was like, I fucking hate this show.
Yeah.
And I realised it was because the order was wrong. It's such an annoying thing to happen when you're doing an hour where you go, if I move that joke to the start, the whole thing's different.
Castledurg's a weird one because it's a great... for me, looks like a great music venue.
It's very boisterous.
It's very bright. Mm-hmm. A comedy club is the dark room. No matter what, a comedy venue, if you're going to theatre, it's in the darkness. You know what I mean? It's just the way a
comedy club should be designed by Joseph Fritzl.
Absolutely. Dailies
dark cellar.
Yep.
No light. Somebody's chained a radiator.
I never thought I'd say this sentence, but Dailies is very Fritzl-esque.
Oh, very Fritzl-esque.
Yeah.
Very Fritzl-esque.
One door in, one door
Everybody's related. Yeah.
And yeah, so I mean, it's a weird one because it's hard to describe that to people because the difference between Castledurg and Dailies was night and day.
Aye, it's crazy. I remember like we were driving back in Castledurg. I remember I didn't enjoy that, and you kept telling me everything that was wrong with it to the point where I was going, "All right, Connor." I was like, "Oh no, fuck me, stop going on about it." At one point he goes, "And stop trying to sing because you can't." I was like, "I'm not trying to sing. I'm doing an impression of the radio." Fucking going to wrap his TT around a tree here.
I was saying pick a different line
Go home and
from
have
the
a fucking
song.
bath bomb on microwave.
I didn't say don't sing. I says don't pick the fucking hardest line in a song that even
I know, but I
even like, the man himself can't do.
At one point I think I might just undo my seatbelt here. All right, Connor, fuck me. I'll fucking Keezy 2 bits tell me shit. And then, do you know what was really weird? And it's the first time it's happened.
Keezy 2 bits, go and fuck yourself.
Keezy 2 bits should be the name of the sandwich.
Stick it up your fucking hole, that's what you can do.
You'd love to.
I would eat it out of it.
I'd let you to. Because you look like a mechanic. Call back. but the weirdest feeling there, Friday, Saturday night was strange. So, Friday night, dailies, great. Dropped Robbie McShane back to Belfast. Was listening to a Netflix special on the way home from the gig. So I kind of kept myself coasting. Drove with Robbie, kept on with stand-up, listened to stand-up on the way home, back to the fucking Bart Cave, smoked a wee spliff, watched a bit more stand-up, ate everything, went to bed. Lovely evening, right? Saturday night, drove back from Coleraine on my own, right? Was kind of trying to run out of the venue because it was... At the end of the gig, I went, oh, these have all been drinking all day, which I love about my audience. I hate saying the words I've been doing stand-up my entire life and I still feel weird going my audience, right? But I think
I mean, you are the new up-and-coming star of Northern Ireland comedy.
Fastest rising star for the last 15 years. but I was trying to get out of the venue dead quick because I could sense everybody was a wee bit steaming. And it's not that I don't want like talking to drunk people. It's more that I'm like, I'm not drunk and it's annoying as fuck. It's like being a bus driver on a stag party. You just like keep the fucking noise down back there, right? So I drove back in Coleraine, got home, wee bit sleepy, didn't smoke any weed, right? Didn't just fucking sit in the house and had nothing to do apart from go to bed. And then had a feeling that I haven't had since pre-pandemic of like road lonely.
Oh no.
Where I'm just like, oh, this is the absolute fucking like the peak of this gig going fucking great. I'm smashing it, everyone's had a great time. And then just by yourself, like, oh fuck. I know how Robin Williams feels now. Like. And Mrs. Doubtfire.
But you do, but you do question it, going, did that just happen?
It's the way, like you come home and you go, I don't even do the dishes. I need to strip out bed, and you come crashing back to reality. Like there should be an aftercare for comedians.
I remember
just a couple of hookers going, we're not going to touch you, but you can look at them if you want. Thanks, girls.
I remember the very early days when the first time Shane did the Ulster Hall, I was a warm-up act, and obviously my first time ever been on stage in Ulster Hall, and Ruby was very young, but she was still, obviously, they'd nappy changed and all the rest. And I remember being at 6:30 in the morning, changing the shitty nappy, going, I was on the Ulster Hall stage last night. This is fucking real. What is going on?
I remember the first time I did the Ulster Hall, stayed in the Ibis, right?
Right. At least you stayed over. At least you could experience it.
No, stayed in the Ibis, and then I was going down to Galway to do the Galway Comedy Festival the next day. So I had to meet Shane Todd at a car park as he was driving us down. Okay. Right. So I drove my wee clapped out Focus to the Ibis, went to the Ulster Hall, standing ovation, right? Had a few pints, but knew I had to get up early. So I was like, I'm not getting too fucking pissed here. Woke up the next day, dying. I was up at like 6, right? Dying with a hangover. Girl was going out at the time, still passed out. Like I hadn't slept properly because I'm in the Ibis on like plastic sheets. And then went to get a shower, and there was no hot water in the hotel. And I'm standing in a freezing cold shower, dying in the middle of October, going, last night, I walked out of that venue going, people are going to talk about that. Do you know what I mean? I was like, people are going to go, I saw him one time, like, years from now, people talk about how good that gig was.
You remember the time you see Mickey Barton.
Yeah, and now I'm here, my finger going through toilet paper because it's fucking cheap as shit. I have no money, and I'm getting a lift down that gig because my car won't make it.
Oh, reality soon
there's
fucking hits
there's
home.
Nothing fucking hits you harder. Like
fucking hell, this does be brutal. But yeah, I mean, that was some of the things. I mean, I was out in Roisin Dove in Galway on Thursday, which was
I was supposed to do that.
It was a delight, actually. It was fucking lovely. But it was I was shite myself because I thought the lost in translation thing, you know, the way I want to get.
Because the speak as yellow good in there.
That's great again, all. But
sorry, my old ears on there.
And I want to get 2 bits, as you say, so it's hard to. I had to siphon through and find stuff that was a bit universal to go down, but even then I had to ask my cousin, like, give me a name of a local this, local that, you know, something local, because everything was based in the north that was very geographical and known as, like, give me a forest, give me a thing, you know. Yeah. And in fairness, and the worst thing is, no Niall runs the comedy club, so my cousin was standing the bar and she was behind him, and as soon as I mentioned the name of the forest, he just turned to her and went, that was you, wasn't it? Because there was no way I would have known the name of that forest. Like, there's not a chance.
Your cousin's a girl?
Yes. No, she's about 24. No,
years of age?
No, she's 36, 37. She likes that too, yeah.
She's single?
All right. She is with a partner.
Is she?
Yeah.
Going well?
I don't know.
What I'm saying is, does she look a bit like you?
She's far better looking than me. She is a Galway girl, obviously, yeah. So she's from Galway.
Interesting. Galway's, that wee gig's great, that wee upstairs.
She told me a great story. She won't mind me telling this. She played with the Dubliners. She's a...
Fuck off!
She's a fiddle player. So she was... so Barney McKenna from the Dubliners was obviously sesh master. Like, he was fucking... The house was famous for it. So she says she was like sitting there and Barney's fucking pelagic, having the crack, singing songs or whatever, and the phone rings. And she lifts the phone. Hello, Barney McKenna's house. And your boy's like, hello, who's that? He goes, this is Alana. Who's that? This is Ronnie. Ronnie who? Ronnie fucking Drew.
Fuck me.
Tell Barney I can't make the party. And then hung up the phone. And Alana was like, how fucking mental is that?
That's amazing.
You answer the phone to Barney, it was Ronnie Drew. Going like, sorry, I can't make it, lads.
Right. That's like picking the phone up. Hello, it's Elvis. Are you on the way?
Yeah, sorry.
Did you take scoops when you were down Galway?
I had a couple. With a few wee pints of stout now.
Fuck, the Guinness.
They were, oh my God, they were unbelievable.
I've had a pint of Guinness in so long.
It was beautiful. Yeah, and it was, as you know, crossing the border.
Aye. This is where we go. Fucking, you can play a theme tune over this. Do you know when you're drinking good Guinness down south, and you put your lips to the glass for the first time, and then take them away and go, I drank half a pint there?
Yeah. You split the G.
You just keep. That's when down south Guinness is the only Guinness where you can actually sup. Do you know what I mean? You're fucking.
You want to sup?
Not like up here Guinness where you're slurping.
Up here you're gulp.
Aye,
you're a gulping. But down there you're
supping pints, boy. Fuck. I love pints.
I just thought about supper there.
I was hosting the BBC
yes, you
New
were doing the
Comedy
BBC New Comedy Awards.
Yeah.
You were on it. You were one of them.
You were seen it. Because I've got about 4 bits, so that makes me professional. And man, I'll say this to you right now: there was a bunch of people from the south came up, right? So there was a couple of. I don't want to make it fucking. But I'll say this: our lads smashed it.
That's what I like to hear.
So you had Johnny Bowe, Robbie McShane,
excellent,
Geordie,
deadly. Who else? Was there?
Fuck, who else was on? Pete Giffen was on.
Pete, yeah.
Oh my God! There's going to be somebody I forgot. There was Butler. Aaron Butler was on.
Oh, it's Butler.
Yeah.
Days, okay.
And there was a point where I was at the side of the stage because it was weird. I had 10 minutes to start.
Apart from Pete, maybe the rest of them are pretty well established. Not established, but
they're still doing considered
well,
newcomers.
Yeah,
but then
saying, so they should do well at that.
Aye, but everybody else wasn't. Nobody else was like, oh, I'm only 2 years in. Well, apart from Pete and me, but Mike Rice, who I've met a load of times, I've never actually seen him do stand up. Fucking incredible.
Who's that now?
He's from Kilkenny.
Right.
Good mates from McCann. So we were hung out with him when I was in Edinburgh a few weeks ago. And do you know when you meet somebody off stage and you go, oh yeah, you just go, oh yeah, you're obviously a fucking very good comedian. And then you see them and you go, fuck, that's annoying me.
Yeah.
How good you are. But Johnny Bowe stole the fucking show, man.
Yeah.
Because there'd been a point where, because there was 8 acts in each half. So I'd said to the producers, I was like, should I jump on at any point? If someone dies, should I jump on, fucking reset the room just to keep it fair for everybody else? And the producer was like, best thing to do is maybe jump on after 4, just to keep it sort of even. But we're running over, and I was like, I don't have time to jump back up. And I didn't do that well in the first half either because I was doing a tight 10.
Right, okay.
So I fucking can't feel my feet.
Yeah.
In 10 minutes, you need a wee bit of room to maneuver or whatever. So let it run. And then Johnny came on last before the break, and it was like, I don't think I've heard that many applause breaks in 5 minutes in my life.
So if you're listening to this and you don't know who Johnny Bowe is, if you've seen Mickey recently, Johnny's been
supporting me on tour.
Yeah.
So I think he supported Shane on tour a few times as well.
Shane as well,
fucking great.
One-liner comedian, glass of whiskey. Because the reason I'm doing that is because I know from many years of warm-up act nobody has a fucking clue who the warm-up act is. You know, as much as we know the people performing, they don't pay attention. So Johnny Bowe.
They knew whenever I was doing it.
They did.
Just the amount of times I've heard it. Fuck me, you're better than Kilty. Oh no,
That's why he stayed in Avis that night and he stayed in the Culloden.
Shut up, man. It's because I'm bad at PR. I'm great at drinking. But yeah, I don't know who went through. I don't know what the crack is there, but that'll be keep your eyes peeled for that, because I think the winner goes through three. I think they pick 3 or 4 winners, and they go through and do like a TV heat, and then the winner of that gets through to the big, massive UK heat, and then they'll give it to a lesbian woman, and then nobody's career changes.
Willie T was there last year.
Willie take her through the final last year.
He went through to London. That's right.
No, the final was Newcastle last year.
Newcastle was
it? So I think the TV heat this year is going to be in Derry, London Derry, in the Guildhall. It's a weird TV thing, man, where they're picking obscure venues to do it, and it doesn't really help the show.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Like last year they did in Port Rush Town Hall, and you're like, this isn't.
And who runs this?
It's BBC.
So then it's free tickets.
Yeah.
So then it's open to anybody who wants to stick a night out rather than actually being comedy fans.
The heats in the comedy clubs you have to pay in, so that's comedy fans.
Yeah, but these shows.
But the TV ones are, and go to it, because I think I'm going to be judging getting paid for it. But the
what date's that on? You don't know?
I think this is 26th September, something like that. But it's an odd thing to. It's typical. I'm always yapping about this. Every so often you go back into like the TV world when they're dealing with stand up, and you go, how the fuck are you constant charge? Like, whose idea was this?
Who thought this through?
Do you know what I mean? Like the wee things of like when you're told they have a very specific idea of who they want to win, and you feel like going, well, tell everybody else not to apply then.
Yeah, what's the point of
or just pick who you think's going to win now. Give it to them.
Give it to them.
Rather than making all these poor fuckers dream and hope. And
that's the thing, because you're building up their expectations, you're building up
absolutely.
Their aspirations, and they're going to be fucking, if it's already pre-decided, well, then that's the point. And it's not even necessarily based, it's never based on skill, it's pre-decided on whatever
and it's a strange thing too, I sometimes think
they want to put on it.
Yeah, because that's like, I don't even know who won it last year, right? No joking. It was a Welsh girl, I don't know her name, and that's not, I just haven't met her, or fucking gig her or whatever, but sometimes you would love to know, what do you tell the comedians what you want out of this? Because if it's not them, let them fuck off. Because I don't know if they want a ready-made act that they can go, right, you've got fucking stage presence, you've got a persona, you've got a voice, you've got whatever, blah, blah, blah. We can then take that and develop it into something. Or do they want, right, you're the funniest person, so we'll take that and point it in a direction? Or is it just, would you happen to be a blind mixed race, fucking one-legged, gender fluid pirate, and we have an idea for a sitcom?
That show's going to get made someday.
Oh man, I was thinking about this for a bit the other day, right? The idea of like generations, right, and how in every single generation there's always conflict, right? So say for example, people who grew up in the 50s, 60s, 70s, right? So the 70s, use the 70s, right? You had mods, punks, rockers, hippies, right? You've all these different groups of people that at some point outgrow all the things they were in.
Yeah.
And we all end up on the same cruise, right? So you think going on a cruise now, there's a bunch of 70-year-olds who are like, I was a mod, I was a heavy, but they're all sitting around complaining about my generation, right? That's going to happen to my generation. We're going to be on a cruise, straight people, gay people, trans people, pan, bi, black, white, Cuban, or Asian, all groups of life, all sitting we all end up in the same cruise, complaining about the robots or something.
Complain about the trans species people.
Yeah, the trans species they'll be on my cruise. They'll be there. Meow. Fucking right. That's a good point, Mittens. I never thought of that. Never thought of that at all. Oh, Mittens is some cracker. Yes, he's a good laugh. You never see him in the pool, do you? Not at all, no.
He used to work in finance.
Oh, no. He's on the fake beach having a shite, but. Oh, here he comes. Arr! Fucking rover. Not at the table. Fuck's sake. That'll happen on a cruise. One of them's trans species and the wife has to feed him. Fucking every time we come for dinner. Every fucking time.
Would it be classed as as like a murder? If she just got a tennis ball and threw it offside.
That'll be a thing, but then he'd come back when he'd be fucking, do you know what I mean? He'd catch
later.
the ball and then change back. Oh, I know how to swim and climb a ladder. If you could trans species, don't mean animorph. I don't mean if you could change into an animal, right?
But if I had to act as
If
an
you had
animal,
to act as another animal, what would be your go-to?
it's gonna be a panda, like, isn't it?
Oh, good choice. Good
It's
choice.
gonna be a panda.
Or no riding at all. Just in the,
No riding.
Just in the corner looking at your wife. Ain't not riding it.
Just in the corner eating.
Aye.
Or koala, because koalas are always stoned out of it.
Chlamydia too, though.
Oh,
Then again, if you're not riding, sure, who's it hurting?
you're too stoned.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you'd be a male koala, so chlamydia doesn't even
Matter, do you?
It's like the best a man can get.
What would your animal be?
I don't know. I wish I'd have thought of one before I asked you, to be honest with you. It would have been funnier.
What probably would have worked a bit better, yeah.
If I could change into an animal, I think I would change into like a
Blowfish.
Nah. Would you go blowfish?
I would go blowfish.
Yeah, why blowfish?
I just think there's something special about them. Aye.
You just look like
I
do you not think blowfish always look like they've had something spicy? Fuck off, Rosen boys. Met draas mij ass. Blowfish look like darts player that ran up steps.
There was chili in that prawn? No. There'll be...
I had to act like an animal all day. Fuck.
Yeah, because that's the thing. You have to act, you know what I mean? So being a cat, I mean, you have to jump across the... cats don't stay still.
Aye.
At least a dog will lie and watch TV.
I'd maybe go French bulldog, something like that. Just lie there breathing in my mouth all day.
See the way none of the two of us picked something that would fly? Because we could.
Oh, if you could change?
if you could change. But it's also because jumping off your second bedroom window is not going to work.
Strangely, if you were to behave, like a penguin would be the best one.
Well, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I'm a penguin today. We'll prove it. Fly. We don't fly, mate. Do you know what I mean? There's a joke on my back. Just stand in the circle with your mates. Fuck. Say nothing, boys.
You pick it up.
We're getting away with it here. Say fuck all. Say nothing. Boys, one of these done by 5. Fucking say fuck all, boys. Stay here. Stay here.
Huddle together.
Say nothing. Here, Davey. There's an Eskimo build his house. Igloos it together. Classic penguin joke for you there. You know what I mean? Just 100%. Excuse me, mate, any money for the homeless? Oh, fuck, sorry. Having a rap, lads. Absolutely pretend to be a penguin all day.
Slide on the grass, belly first.
Yeah.
Every festival.
For crowdies. Klinsman! Skint boys.
Oh, matey.
But, right, the trans species thing, that is, there are people who are doing that.
Yes.
Legit.
Yes,
and they're being taken seriously. Now,
this is, yeah.
Because here's the thing, right?
No, I know this is controversial and very old-fashioned and probably alt-white.
Aye, but those people are full of shit.
But those people seem to have a mental illness.
I don't
want to disparage people, but if you're crawling about and you're licking yourself like a cat and you're drinking milk from a bowl like a cat, I mean, I think you maybe might need some counselling, minimum. Just counselling.
I think you should maybe should you be legally allowed if you meet somebody who's trans species, right, to tell them to do a thing that animal actually does. Like,
right, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If someone's like, oh no, I'm a cat today, go right, pull a wheelie bin out and go jump on top of that.
Right. Or if you're
from standing, jump on top of that.
Or if you're a squirrel, eat these nuts. That sort of thing. Like you can
get trouble for that these days.
I don't know if you can.
Do you know what I mean?
Only if it's a red squirrel.
A Weasley. Because I don't know how legit. I saw a video the other day that said, no, but sorry, I saw a video the other day that said there was a school in America. It's always a school in America.
Always is.
That has been making, has been fucking having adult-sized kitty litters knocking about for students that are, and it's not a primary school. This is fucking like a high school for people that are trans species. There's a big kitty litters you can take it. You bring bullying back.
Absolutely.
See, if I was walking through a school and somebody was taking a shit in a thing of sand, we would kick the cat out of them.
Yeah. And there would be no more talk of it ever again.
Ever again. Like,
no, we don't advocate
if somebody walked down the corridor with a bell around their neck, we would beat the living fuck out of them.
If somebody, here's the thing for me: if somebody's trans species and we are to take this seriously, if they have a partner who is a human, like they are,
bestiality.
That's bestiality. They're having sex with a cat.
Burn this whole fucking thing to the ground, man.
disgusting.
I have to say though, I am developing a mental illness in that I'm watching people on TikTok with mental illnesses and I'm addicted to it. There's a thing I can't explain this. I've been trying to write stand up about it. And
about laughing at people with mental illness.
It's not laughing at it.
Oh, okay.
It's not mental illness. I don't mean people who you look at and go, fuck, that person needs help. I've developed this thing where I keep looking at ugly people pretend to be hot and I go, where the fuck do you get the confidence to do that? And can you bottle it and sell me some? Right? There's a particular woman that this is how now I want to make this clear.
Has it been done with irony? Like they know they're not.
No.
Right.
I want to make this clear and I say this now. Right. I know there's something wrong with me when I say this. Okay, I'm going to say it out loud. I know how mental it makes me sound. Right.
Oh my God.
There's a woman on TikTok. I do not follow her, but I will type her name into TikTok every day just to watch what she's doing on TikTok. Right. And the reason I don't follow her is I don't want her to know them. I don't want her to know them. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Right.
I'm not going into too many details because I don't want.
Local, as in from the north.
No. She's Scottish.
Okay.
It's just
right.
one of these ones just appeared in my feed one day, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?" There's a trend on TikTok that people do, and there's some weird fucking dance song being played over the top of it, right? And it basically goes, "You've never been to heaven, have you?" Right? And it's posers, and they'll write something like, I don't like fucking bucktooth women with ginger hair." And then some fucking bucktooth ginger hair woman will be all, "You've never been to heaven, have you?" Right? And it's supposed to be this reinforcement thing. And then you read the comments, and it's loads of like, "You go, girl, you go get him." And then somebody else being like, "You're fucking dick," right? There's this woman, and she just manages a bar. She did that the other day, and it was like, "Oh, you don't like 5'11" fucking heavy dolls that manage bars." And she's in work, right? Sitting fucking splat-legged in a mini skirt, like doing all this fucking sexy move and stuff with a chip and pin machine on her fucking hip, right? And she's like, all like looking down the camera, and I'm watching it going, "Your boss is if your boss, what? Where have we got to in society, right? Where instead of fucking working at work, you can skive off.
Yeah, somebody's
being
paying her
quite
to do that,
quite. Like, do you know the difference between a stud and a pig is a six pack? Mm-hmm. Well, the difference between a temptress and a slut is looks as well, right?
Looks as well.
It's, do you know what I mean? Hot people can be suggestive. Ugly people are fucking like, you're desperate, right? But at what point can you skive off work, be kind of slutty at work, and then put it on social media and still have a job?
People are probably coming.
To the workplace or
no, just in general.
You're not.
But they might, you know what I mean? Do you know the way?
Notice, by the way, anybody watching this or listening to this is going, none of this is funny. I know. I am developing a real fucking like, what are you doing? And why have you nobody in your life that goes, listen? Because you think anytime we say shit,
thinking the exact same thoughts about you.
I know, no, but the difference is I'm a comedian. People know I'm joking. Well, no,
I'm not on about that. I'm on about you scrolling through TikTok. I'm thinking, is nobody going to come in and help you and save you? Because
at least I'm looking for material or things to talk about.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
But do you know what I mean? It really, and I get
who dictates what's good looking and what's bad looking. I've always wondered that. Who is there something?
That's two ugly men. Good point, Connor. I agree.
You know, yeah. I mean, I've been called ugly many a time.
Me too.
And is it just because you're not, like, for us personally, is it because you're not attracted to them, or is it just because they are ugly? There's some people it's very clear.
Don't worry. I think there's definitely you can be very, very attractive and very. I've met very, very sexy people that aren't classically good looking.
What do you mean by classically good looking? That's what I'm saying. Like, what is the thing?
They're not aesthetically pleasing.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you look across the room and you go, fuck no. Then you talk to them and go, actually, would I? That's a very short way to do it because we run out of time.
It's a very short way to do it, but yeah.
But okay. You know what I mean, right? And there's something, I don't know.
But we're worse than that than women. We're more for the aesthetics than women. A woman could maybe fall in love with an ugly man that's got a good personality.
Aye.
But it wouldn't happen.
Men in general, no, I don't know. Men in general, yeah, probably. But I've definitely been laughed in the bed, like.
No, well, it's everyone.
Yeah. I have full blown been like, Jesus Christ, you're hilarious. Come on ahead, doctor. Like,
right, but and let's be honest, it doesn't take much to get you to take him down. Like,
it does. No, but I've told you before, my Willie's got trust issues. Like, so my Willie won't my willy, I'll be like, I'll go, no problem. But my dick's all made 3 dates first, man. I'm fucking. But I've definitely, I get very attracted to funny women. It's. I think it makes me a good person.
I was going to say something. I'm not going to say it.
What was it?
I was going to say I've never wet one, but
like somehow you're more misogynist now than I was.
I know,
but it's a thing. It's
no,
it's fascinated me for years. Is the
but I'm the opposite.
It's the confidence. I don't like confidence.
You see, I grew up surrounded by funny women.
Yeah,
right?
Well, it's same here. Like that's
and they were all. Like you needed to be on your fucking toes because they would tear you apart. Like and the worst thing is they could do it in such a way that of things you didn't even think were a problem.
Talking.
But like there is that difference between us. I mean, there's definitely.
My ma cut me to the bone the other day,
as they can always do.
Absolutely, cut me to the fucking bone. Yeah. I can't remember what it was talking about, but she went, I don't know, with them hands and them feet, the way you're getting. And like, I have no control over this. Like,
but in fairness, like
I know she's right. I mean, right. And at first, I think they're getting her own back for years of me being like, because my mom's got a mole on her cheek, and I always be like, whoa.
Oh, you did not. Oh, you're a bad bastard.
Yeah.
Oh, you're a bad cunt.
But this is
because it's something that she's going to be. Fucking...
I want to try and figure out this point without getting myself cancelled here. I don't know what the fascination with people who have that level of confidence. I don't know why it hypnotizes me. And I just find myself angry and feeling sad for them. Excuse me. Fucking hell. And
see, it's coming out of you now.
That's the devil.
Pure badness.
But what I'm saying to you is this Scottish doll who had the thing on her hip, the chip and pin machine on her hip, has an OnlyFans, right?
Oh, no.
And I'm like, you've now launched into a whole different fucking level of... Part of me is like, why would you put yourself out there online doing something like suggestive and just to have people slag you off? But do you know what I mean? Part of me's doing that. Also then the other part of me's going, how the fuck do you think you are? And then, so it's a whole mixture thing. And then I'm finding myself going, how do I set up a fake email to look at her OnlyFans to see what she's doing on the OnlyFans so I can fucking hate her more? But also, so at some point I could maybe go, listen, you need help, and swoop in and be all here. Don't be doing that on OnlyFans anymore because people are making fun of you. Do you know what I mean? Is it? I don't know what I'm.
You need help, Mike.
It's insane. It's insane how when I be lying awake, feeling sorry for her and then wanting to slap her in the jaw.
Remember I told you.
And the amount of people I see on social media, I want to grab them by the head and go, just fucking stop doing it way outside and get a breath of fresh air.
You are the co-host of Just Rabbiting On, and 2 years ago I told you, do not install TikTok on your fucking phone.
It's too late, man. I had to.
Get rid of it.
And so I'm also fascinated by the algorithm.
Oh, you are. Of course you are. That's what you're fascinated by.
The amount of times just big ditties bouncing about, I'm all, you boys know what I like.
And then you get a...
But
on a serious note, is there like... Because you don't find it attractive.
Yeah, I suppose that's the thing.
Because there are chubby chasers out there, like... You know, I would be a fetish.
I'm a fetish. I'm definitely a fetish as well.
No, you're not a fetish.
I'm not a type.
You are a type.
I'm not a type.
No, you're not.
I'm just too fat for a dad bod, which is a type. I'm fetish. I mean, I'm definitely a fetish.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Would you have to pay more to a hooker to put up with?
I definitely have to buy her a vacuum cleaner, like.
You definitely are.
Like the blow job, the suck job with me with her. It's me hoovering up her.
Yeah, with Henry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks very much, Stervla. I can leave out there if you're retired, you know. Just if you're doing a glory hole job, just fucking fire him into that. We'll have a cup of tea and a Kit Kat. I've never been with a penguin, and I have no money. Well, sorry. Yeah, so no, I don't know what the tune into the podcast next week, and I'll try and figure out if I can figure out what I mean by the just the whole fucking mix of negative emotions I get when I look at TikTokers. I'm only using that girl as one example. There's loads of them.
But this is what I'm getting at. If you take TikTok out of the equation, then the negativity's not there.
Very true. But I do like it.
It's Stockholm syndrome.
You can't
get away from the abuse of your mind.
I like being in my house screaming, "What the fuck are you doing?" to somebody that can't hear me.
Play FIFA online.
Yeah, it's like when I type my own name into Twitter, even though I don't have Twitter, just to see if anybody's talking shit.
Mickey.
I've googled Mickey Bartlett Edinburgh review. I was only there 4 days and it didn't get reviewed.
He didn't have a show on for fuck's sake.
And all it does is bring back old reviews where it didn't do very well, and I'm just in the house all sad again.
Oh, to have the time to just.
I don't waste my life away. Like I'm definitely wasting. You do find yourself being like, "You're 35, you fucking loser. What are you doing?" Phone's covered in aloe vera.
40 creeps up very fucking fast, my friend.
I'm already feeling that. Like
very fast.
But anyway, here we're gonna fucking go answer some questions on Patreon. We do have some.
So the merch, we are going to do a pre-order. It'll be a 2-week pre-order. We will give a shout out. We'll give a shout out to our patrons first. You'll get the link to the website, and then it'll go out because the people on Spotify will be a bit behind, anyways, a week behind. So
yeah, we should have said that earlier. I'll do the quick. Do you want me to do the short, snappy version? It sounds cooler. You did all the merch, so you should.
There's going to be multiple choices. There's about 4 or 5 t-shirts. Some of them looking pretty fucking cool.
They look fucking great. I'm actually.
We will expand as time goes on, but for initial pre-order.
So we're pre-ordering merch. It'll be available on Patreon first.
Then it'll go out.
And then it'll go out to the general public. We're hopefully going to get a couple of samples to wear the day that they're launched, so you can see what they look like on you, good fit and all that sort of stuff.
Big unit sizes.
Big unit sizes. Available. Obviously, big unit sizes. We're not tailored shit. Fuck off.
Tickets on sale for my tour in November and December. I have
2 dates left. 2 dates left in the tour, so we've got Ballymena, Please Come, and Warren Point, low tickets. And then the waterfront is fucking on the cusp. We'll get the finger to the waterfront as well. And
I'm in Enniskillen this weekend and Newry, but by the time this goes out, it's probably over. So the next gig I think is Daly's, the 2nd of September.
Is this your tour this weekend? Or?
No. It's, so 2nd of September is Kieran Bartlett and McCartney and William Thompson and Fenton Harvey. So it's a good lineup. So get yourself down to that. There's about 6 tickets left, I think, so it's already sold out. Happy days.
That's all the news. We're going to go Patreon, answer some questions. If you enjoyed the podcast, go to Patreon. If you did enjoy it, keep it your fucking self.
The other thing I want to ask people, because there is the rating review. Remember the Spotify? Mm-hmm. So if you're listening now on Spotify, like right now, you can see it on your phone. You can see there's a wee star button there. If you press that, it'll come up with 5 stars as an option. Like individual stars, the 1 to 4 don't work. It's a weird glitch.
Press our stars.
It's the algorithm. Yeah, please press my star.
Press Connor's big 5 star. All the Harry Chess and Boss of Luck. See you next week. Bye.